On behalf of the Schack Institute of Real Estate, and on behalf of my colleagues in the real estate industry, I am delighted to introduce our keynote speakers. First, and straight back from Qatar and Greece and the World Cup, where he was observing how they handle logistics so we can do an even better job here in 2026 when the US hosts the World Cup, is our very own Mayor of New York City, Eric Adams. Mayor Adams is wrapping up his first year as the 110th Mayor of New York City. And wow, what an extraordinarily successful and challenging year for him and for all of us. I first met Mayor Adams 7 or 8 years ago through a mutual friend when he was the Brooklyn Borough President. What immediately struck me was his deep connection to New York and to New Yorkers, starting with his passion for this great city and empathy towards those who were less fortunate. I was also particularly impressed by his keen insight into the safety of our workforce and how he kept saying that the companies that pay the bulk of the city taxes need to know that their employees can get to work safely. He also understood that the city has grown and will continue to grow through development and not by NIMBYism. Since then, I've seen him in action on all fronts. And Mr. Mayor, you're doing a terrific job. You give voice to a diverse range of residents in all 5 boroughs. You're leading the fight to reduce inequality, improve public safety, sometimes with one hand tied behind your back, bring back the city's economy, provide desperately needed housing, and build a stronger, healthier, more inclusive city for all New Yorkers. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Mayor Eric Adams.
Mr. Silverstein, it's good seeing you. You know, you're a New Yorker. First of all, thank all of you, and I'm glad for the combination of people who are here in the room, not only faculty, but students, and those of you who are in this industry of this city called New York. What oil is to Texas, real estate is to New York. And it is part of the economic foundation of our city. And some members of my team is here, the amazing Golden Touch Andrew Kimball. Just saw that he was here as well, and some of the projects that we're going to put in place. And several other members who are scattered here. In my brevity, I just want to quickly let you know how we got here. How did this administration come about? This is a 28-year journey. 28 years ago, I made the decision that I was going to be the mayor of the city of New York in January 1st, 2022. And everywhere I traveled, I told people, and it took a while before they realized I was not on medication, that I was actually on a destination. And it came from speaking with Bill Lynch. Bill Lynch, who was the former deputy mayor under David Dinkins. Bill Lynch told me what I needed to do to become the mayor. And at the heart of that, many of you don't realize, was a man named Jack Maple. Jack Maple was the brainchild behind Bill Bratton, who was a commissioner that came to first as the chief of the transit police, and then as the commissioner of the New York City Police Department. Bill had a vision. He understood that what was the foundation of our prosperity, and that was public safety. Prior to Jack and Bill, the belief was that police had nothing to do with keeping the city safe. Social conditions created the climate that caused crime. And Bill said no to that. He was a moonshot thinker. He did not think outside the box, he destroyed the box. And they created the first level of using real-time crime analysis. It was called OLTPS. Jack had a small team of 5 computer programmers that sat down under Chief O'Connor to come up with ways of going from being reactionary to predicting what crimes would take place. One of those programmers was a sergeant and a police officer named Eric Adams. I was a computer programmer, programmed with COBOL, assembly language, and Fortran. It's hieroglyphics now, but it was the foundation of computer terminology back then. Bill became the commissioner in the New York City Police Department, and he created CompStat, the newer version of that, where we started analyzing crimes differently, and it turned around our entire city. And what happened? We discovered that the economic stimulus was public safety. When we became safe, Times Square turned around. Our waterfront was rediscovered. We started to look at properties throughout the entire city that was often ignored. Real estate may get sick, but it never dies, and it stays alive. It's about how do you reimagine it in a real way. Even when our center of trade was collapsed on September 11th, it was about how do we redefine and not run away, and that's what you were willing to do to build back that area, and we see what is happening. Our entire west side, when you look at Hudson Yard and other projects and what we are able to accomplish. Innovation Queens, people stated it could not be done. Willis Point, bring in a soccer stadium and thousands of units of housing in a location. The Bruckner Project up in the Bronx. Project after project. But when you look at all of the projects, you look at the fact that following those projects, safety. People must feel safe. If you create a safe environment and you build it, they will come. And they will come and live. That's why it was so crucial for a mayor to come into office that did not believe in defunding the police, that believed in supporting the police. There was a mayor that had to come in office that didn't come in and demonize our real estate industry that pays 51% of our taxes. Instead of demonizing them, lift them up and state, let's use the landscape and the canvas of this entire city to say that people have a right to live in this city. Not keep sacred parts of the city that you did not allow people to live in and state, not in my backyard. The hypocrisy of those who yelled and screamed that we need more affordable housing and more building, but don't build it on my block and not in my community, that I must have my park, my train station, my supermarket. Note to that. The city belongs to every New Yorker, and every part of this city will participate in the development of this city to house every New Yorker. That's what this administration represents and what we believe. We want to integrate the city, build in the city. We want to integrate our schools, allow our children to live in communities where you have great schools. We want to have a good healthcare system, allow people to live in the communities where you have great hospital systems. We want our children to co-pollinate their ideas and their energies and spirits. Then they must learn how to be in the same parks together and live in the same communities together. That's what we are fighting for, and that is what we are pushing for. And it's crucial of this moonshot moment that we are experiencing. Have to think differently about housing, using renewable energy. How do we build with new projects and new products? How do we rethink what rental units are about? The antiquated methods of believing that young people don't like to live in universal environments, what they're doing in Turkey, when I go visit them and see how they have shared spaces and shared settings. How do we even think about cities that are built on water? How do we think about building over our rail stations like what they did in Hudson Yards and on top of libraries, looking at hospitals and building there? How do we think differently about building in our city and leading the way instead of following others who carry out this process? That's what Innovation Queens was about. People stated we couldn't do it, but we knew we could. All we had to do was give a clear vision how we were not displacing, but replacing dilapidated environments and unused land to find the right product to build on. This must become a city of yes. We started out in government with no. That was where we started from. We always viewed as impossible. And every agency was built on, how do I tell you no? How do I figure out a way to say what was not possible? That old way of thinking is behind us. We want to be the testing ground of all new ideas and all new products. This is a city of yes. So what does that look like? Rethinking our land use process. Have a department of buildings where we don't start out giving you stop work orders on everything when there's one item that's a problem so you can continue your job and feed the employment that we're looking for. Having agencies that walk into a business not with citations, but with opportunities to say, how do I keep your doors open? And how do I judge success? Not how many times you write a citation, but how many businesses you start. Building out a fire department that does not allow 2 years before you get a sprinkler inspection so you can finally get people employed in the hotels that we're looking for. But it's also changing our mindset. Never forget the person that sat down for a portrait and he told the artist, I notice you are aware that I have a scar, but remember I have a face, and that face defines me. So yes, we have a scar, as any big city would have, but we have a face. The scar are the 6 felonies we have on our subway system every day. But let me tell you the face. 3.5 million people use that system every day, and they get to and from where they want to get to without any incident at all. We lead to 25 major markets in hotel recovery, 97% hotel recovery. New York is #1 out of the 25 major markets. 56 million tourists come to this city to participate in what we have to offer, our good products. 65 million are coming next year. Major companies have dug in deep and say, we want to be in New York because of the product we have. You can't get the diversity we have in this city anywhere else. It's the cross-pollination of young people in NYU and the other college institutions that are creating this product. The startups that are taking place here. This is an exciting place to be. New York is not coming back. New York is back. New York is back. And so those, every time they mention our name, they want to point to the scar. I want you to leave here today and tell them, look at my face. Don't point to my scar. Point to my face. Point to what's great about this city and what we have accomplished and what we will accomplish. We are the social and moral compass of America. September 11, 2001, when we saw the Center of Trade collapse, we give acknowledgement every year to the people who we've lost. But let me tell you what I remember. I remember September 12th. We got up. Teachers taught. Builders built. Retailers sold goods. When we got up, the country got up. Our tenacity and resiliency sparked the tone across the entire country. And I hear all the time what people say about this great country. I read a survey that 51% of Americans would not defend this country if it's attacked by a foreign enemy. You know what? I'm part of the 48%ers. I get up every morning and I still say I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Nowhere else on the globe is dream attached to its name. No German dream, no French dream, no Polish dream, but damn it, there's an American dream. And that American dream is built in all of us. And I'm not going to surrender that dream to those that want to pull us apart. From anti-LGBTQ, anti-Semitism, anti-black, anti-this, it's time for us to unite under one banner. We're part of Team America and Team New York. Team America and Team New York. And so to the young people that are here, be visionaries, push the envelope. You have started your 28-year journey. You must make your decision right now. What is your legacy and what is your contribution to the city? And all the partners who are here, use them as mentors. Encourage them to think differently about housing. Explore what the globe has to offer, from Qatar to Greece, to all these countries that are trying things differently. Let's be different in our thought. Let's be pioneers. This city will be the safest and cleanest city in America. We're going to push the development of this industry to contribute. And speaking to the dean, let's not look in usual places for our interns. Young people who have the skill in NYCHA, I'm so pleased what the dean shared with me as he's looking for NYCHA students to be a part of this administration. Every young person that you want to recruit is not on LinkedIn. Let's go find them. We have talent in parts of this city that we have often ignored because we've looked in usual places. Let's go beyond our comfort zone and lean into the joy and pleasure of growth in a place of discomfort. Let's look at some of the process that we're doing in our global hub for life sciences that we're doing at our Science and Research Center down in Kips Bay. Let's focus on some of the great developments that we are doing in the years to come as we explore the possibilities, as I mentioned, in the projects of what we're doing in Innovation Queens and some of the innovations that are there. Let's find the solutions to the problems that this city and country is facing, and let's be willing to make sure we move in the right direction. The city's thriving. 11,850 new businesses started in the first quarter of this year. It's only the beginning as we continue in the startups. This is a 35% increase from quarter one and a 65% increase from quarter one of 2019. This continuing growth is an indicator of how prosperous we are. But I need you. I need you to believe again. I need you to walk differently. I need you to talk differently. I need people to know that we are not great because of our Broadways, because of the Empire State Building. We're not great because of our large streets. We're great because, borrowing from Snapper, we're made up of the best stuff on earth. We're New Yorkers. That's make us who we are. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.